Welcome back, everyone. Episode 7 now of the Mid Week Hump, where we bring you a little bit of a recap of the news of the past seven days, or somewhere around there. I don't know. I'm still working on this, still perfecting it. But of course, I'm joined by my two hosts, as per usual, the lovely Miss Horror Emirata. How are you, darling?
I'm good. How are you tonight?
I'm good. I'm glad my workday is done. It was chaotic and kind of crappy because we're having this weird resurgence of COVID cases. So it makes my job hard because I'm under government contract. So it's nice to be sitting at home, drinking a nice hot cup of coffee and getting into this stream with you lovely people.
Oh, yeah. It's always lovely to be there.
Of course. And of course, we have the missing hero, Sheepsidian. How are you, sir?
Howdy. I'm all right.
Missing.
I'm alive. That's worth something.
Mhm.
And that's it.
And this week we are joined by the lovely, the great and powerful Keri Smith. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Uh-oh.
My missing hero, my grandfather used to call that, how are you? What would he say? I'm 6 feet on the right side of the ground.
Yep. Keri, thank you for joining us. As I said pre-show, it's been a long time. I've followed you for a while now. Your story really piqued my interest back in 2020. I think I saw you first on, I think it was Trigonometry that you may have been on first. And then
I love
after,
those guys.
yeah. And then after that, I think I saw you on Tim Pool. I'm not sure which one came first. I thought it was Trigonometry, but I remember seeing your show and you were talking about your former SJW days. And I was like, oh my God, there's someone out there that understands me and I can relate to. And I started feeling way more comfortable in my red pilled skin. So
There are a lot of us. I mean, I've been doing interviews about this now for.
oh, we may have lost Keri for a second.
Oh, ready? What? Hey,
Internet. Well,
come back.
Cover.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go.
Am I back?
You're back.
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
This thing is ridiculous.
It's okay.
I'm going to put on the, you know what? I have it wired, but I'm going to put on the Wi-Fi instead and see if it's better.
Okay. No problem.
Let's see.
Usually wired's better, but some days you never know
You seem like you've stabilized.
for the moment.
Yeah, this was happening on my stream. Yeah, I think that's better, the Wi-Fi. All I was saying is that every I've been talking about leaving the woke left for a couple years now, and I meet more of us all the time. And so that's very inspiring because you're meeting people who it's like, I remember that moment when I found someone who made me realize I wasn't the only one. You know what that was like, where you're like, oh, I'm not going crazy. Like, this doesn't make sense. This is not liberal. I thought this was liberalism and it's not. There's something wrong with me. And then you're like, oh, when I found Jordan Peterson, it helped me make a lot of sense of things.
Was he was he the person that sort of woke you up, or was there someone closer to you?
No, it was him.
Yeah.
Well, I went to there were other things that had happened that made me start to question what this belief system was really about, or even to realize it was a belief system.
Mm-hmm.
And those things had already happened. I don't have to get into those unless you want me to. I've talked about them a lot, but I was in this place of kind of questioning things. And then I got a link to a video of his where I was told he was a transphobe, and I expected him to be a transphobe when I got there, and I didn't think he was. And so I thought he had a very good argument about compelled speech. And then I started listening to more of him, and he was helping me. At that time, I couldn't really put into words very well what it was I was noticing on my side.
Right.
And he helped me do that, to understand, oh, like I said, you're not crazy.
Yeah.
This is illiberal. And I really, that was the beginning of the process of sort of trying to figure out, tearing everything down and then trying to figure out, well, what do I actually believe about things?
Yeah, that pretty much sounds like me. I spent like 10 years in Hawaii, and a very, very liberal state in the United States. And it was, I don't know, where I find myself now is actually where I think I was my whole life, but living in a very liberal state. it's sort of like people started like twisting my mind a little bit and the things I would see and read. And I think I was in a similar place to you where I think COVID brought me like down and long enough where it's like this perfect storm of you have a lot of time because you're not working. So you might as well start reading stuff. And I just sort of started questioning all the things that were being told to me about Trump. And from there, I sort of like spiraled down. I was like watching a lot of stuff from Crowder and Fleckus talks on YouTube. And then I started finding people like yourself and watching more Tim Pool. And it just sort of like but at the same time, I thought like, am I the crazy conspiracy theorist person? Like, am I the one who's lost it? And because people would tell me all the time, especially on Facebook, they'd be like, no, like they'd call me things like transphobe or homophobe or whatever. And I'm like, what? This doesn't make any sense. It's never how I've lived my life. And so finding someone like yourself was really big for me in my own development, and it's kind of stepping out of my comfort zone to start talking about stuff live on YouTube or making videos about it, and then connecting with my co-hosts. Like, it all kind of led me here. It was a really great thing. So thank you for all your inspiration over the years.
Well, thank you. I'm sorry. My Wi-Fi seems to be acting up too. Just let me know if it gets too bad.
Okay. It seems okay so far. Okay. But yeah, this week we have a bunch of stuff that I have sort of planned to talk about. Twitter is just ripe for the picking on a lot of news stories, and I don't even know where to start, honestly. I guess a lot of the stuff I've been seeing, especially from Biden's side of things, we saw a bunch of headlines. Here, let me bring one up regarding
who's that? Who's Biden? I'm kidding.
Biden?
I do.
He doesn't know, so why would we?
Right. He doesn't even know who he is. He's made a lot of comments, and I don't even know what the tactic is at this point. I guess it's to just smear people who may have been in support of him at some point. Let me make sure I bring up the right tab. Here it is.
Well, like I told you guys before we started, I don't know any news that happened today and very little that happened yesterday because I haven't been online very much. So This will be new for me, whatever it is.
Maybe start with the internet news since it's all internet related.
So this was let me make sure. I'm all over the place today. Sorry, guys. Boomer moment. We got to have at least one. Biden says Americans have a choice between his plan and the ultra MAGA plan. And this was also followed up by comments today talking about he called his predecessor the MAGA king.
Good grief.
Yeah. Said this like live, in a press conference, like it was to a room full of reporters. So I don't know, like I brought this up and I thought it was interesting because it seems like midterms are coming up. This is the plan from this side, is that we're going to start bringing MAGA into it, start blaming them and demonizing the right at this point. And
wait, they stopped?
Well, yeah, I don't know, but it's like they just, because I think that people are so, like, the topic of Trump and MAGA in general is so vitriolic that they need something.
Now it's funny. What's funny is that, like, they chose 2 years into the term to say, hey, so MAGA Trump, MAGA Trump, MAGA, MAGA Trump. Like, it's kind of weird that, after they've caused so much mayhem and chaos, and as far as like their whole handling of what they think the government how they think the government should be handled, after they've pretty much thrown everything into the dumpster and set the dumpster on fire, then put the fire out and set the ashes on fire. Like, now they're just saying, hey, so Trump did like first off, you guys are still on that TDS, for one. For two, me personally, I'm surprised that Biden himself, more commonly known as the refurbished animatronic covered in year-old mayonnaise, hasn't been ex-commed at this point. Like, they're like, everyone's making predictions. Like, 2 years in, we're gonna have Kamala Harris, whatever. She's gonna step in because they're gonna label old man animatronic as senile. And here we are. He's still in office and is still making everybody mad. And I'm just sitting here like, well, I mean, it can't get well. Actually, it can get worse than this. Never mind. Knock on wood.
Well, inflation doesn't seem to stop, and that where
that's the thing that bugs me too. Is like it was like I wouldn't the way that inflation happened. Like inflation is something that's kind of inevitable when it comes to like the economy, but the whole like shutting everything down and locking everyone down and stuff like that, all that did was just like further excel it by like thousands upon thousands of percent of how fast as it's supposed to move, and just made everything. They just pretty much thrown us into a recession. Stupid.
Yeah, I really wonder when Biden says you have the choice between his plan. It's like, what plan is that exactly? Because you seem to be destroying every American institution that you walk by.
My issue is he lies about us having a choice.
Right.
Right. Like, I don't know. This is the stuff that troubles me. And I know this stuff happens with every president that comes in. It's just, one side throwing mud at the other. But this just seems like a special case of stupid as far as politics go. And I don't know, like, at what point, like I'm hoping that this is one of those things that, like, MAGA and Trump has brought up so much that even people and progressives are just like, who cares anymore? But I don't know that that's going to be the case.
No, it's not the case.
Oh, it feels right now like they're throwing everything they possibly can against the wall to try to get something to stick for midterms. You have the abortion stuff, you have the war, you have COVID, and they're just trying to pile everything together as much as possible to distract everybody from the fact that their food costs more, their gas costs more, their ability to just be free in the world at large is almost entirely, well, not entirely, is slowly, well, not even slowly, it's quickly being eroded. I'll get there, I swear. And they're trying to just distract and hope that people will forget about the fact that they are a large part of why all these things are happening, so that they can get the votes, even though we know they'll probably try. Well, never mind. I won't say that out loud right now.
Careful. Learn from Trudeau.
But at what point, like, I mean, and then recently you have, or we just have today, them talking about the $40 billion Ukraine package. Like, how quickly some people forget that 2 weeks ago people were crying about Elon Musk spending his money on purchasing Twitter and how he could save the world with world hunger, and he could have fixed so many other things. But now we're sending money to fund a foreign war.
Yeah,
first they're printing that money.
Right, it's not even money we have.
Right. First off, no, he couldn't have fixed the world hunger problem. It's 44 billion or 45 billion, however much it was. Doesn't matter how much money you throw at the world hunger thing. There's still going to be people who go hungry, because that's just how it works. It's not about how much money you throw. It's about if that individual is willing to get up and work for it. That's pretty much what it boils down to. For one. For two, you're correct. They're printing money out that doesn't exist and funding things that shouldn't be funded by us, furthering us into like a deficit.
Keri, any thoughts so far?
I try not to watch political news.
I try myself.
So, yeah, I don't really have a lot of thoughts other than from a messaging standpoint, because I think so much of it is theater anyway. And like you said, it's the dumbest kind of commentary, like for him to go out and it's my plan or the MAGA plan. It makes me wish that I grew up during a time when presidents were much more articulate and thoughtful, and citizens in general, like we were all much more articulate, and people wanted to hear the substance. And I think now.
Uh-oh. Oh no.
Absolutely.
I agree.
I wholeheartedly agree.
News cycle has been reduced to like a. You guys, I don't know why. I haven't done a lot of night streams, and I think in this new house we just moved in, maybe. Let me just text my husband and see if he's watching the TV.
I'm sure he's not filming anything.
Mom needs to make a phone call.
Just say, hey,
My
cut it off.
And my housemate, are you online?
Oh boy, not the bit rate.
For once, our internet isn't the worst. Woohoo!
Yes.
Oh man,
Second worst.
now I'm like all worried. This hasn't happened during one of my daytime shows yet, but it did. Like I said, it just happened at the end of my stream right before this.
Yeah, if he started downloading something, that could totally do it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let me just. Okay, I'm gonna. Are you on watching TV? Yeah, but I try not to watch it because it's
Depressing.
It's depressing and it's sort of pointless and it's theater and it feels like a world that doesn't really exist. It's like watch it. It's like going into the Matrix.
Yeah.
And so I do stay in touch with some. I do go on Twitter and try to keep up with what's happening in that world. But in terms of strong opinions, I guess I'm just from a marketing standpoint. Why is he using MAGA? I guess he's trying to throw red meat to his base.
Yeah.
And that's the strongest thing he thinks he has is to insult Trump again and insult Trump people.
Right.
Yep.
But I don't think it's going to win over any independents or any. It's certainly not going to win back people like me and like you,
Right.
Shaggy, who walked away. It's like, I scoff at that.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you're doing the smarter thing anyway, like you were talking about before we started, getting involved locally where you can have the most impact, as opposed to fretting over what the morons on a national level are doing.
Yes.
Do you find? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, we have a situation here in Georgetown, Texas, where the Arts and Culture Board, they just put up a bunch of murals around town. They're basically trying to turn Georgetown into an Austin, and we are not Austin. We are much smaller than Austin. In fact, one of the things that came up at the city council meeting yesterday is they're making plans to do a deal with C3, which is a promoter, a company, kind of like Live Nation.
Yeah.
C3 is based in Austin, and they do big festivals like ACL. They want to do an ACL scale festival out in Georgetown, Texas. They want to shut down our parks for 2 weeks, bring 60,000 people in.
Wow.
Or no, 30,000 people in. That's half the size of our population. We're not set up. We've never had a festival that big. Where's everyone going to? There's so many problems with it. So that's happening. But the other thing that's happening is they recently had middle schoolers paint one of these murals that the Arts and Culture Board put around town. And so these are 10-year-olds to 13-year-olds. They painted a mural of red poppies. We are the red poppy capital of the U.S. Red poppies, and it says "Be your own person" spelled out in rainbow letters. Okay, fine. But then they changed the colors of the red poppies, and there's specific flags. There's the pansexual flag. There's the transgender flag, non-binary flag, bisexual flag. And my mind goes to, why are 10-year-olds painting the pansexual? How do they even know what the pansexual flag is?
Right.
Why is
they even know that's what they painted?
Do they even know? Do their parents know that that's what they painted?
Right.
And so it came up at city council meeting 2 weeks ago, and my pastor spoke and 2 members of my church spoke out against it. And then 2 days later, just a few days later, I'm not sure how many days later, but within that week, we got word that we had been evicted. Our church is now evicted from our meeting place.
Oh my God.
Effective immediately. And they're going to refund all the rent that we've paid so far for the rest of the month. Yeah. So we were meeting in an old theater called the Palace Theater, and it's run by a lot of the same people that are in the Arts and Culture Board. And so clearly it's a nonprofit that runs it, but it's like all the arts and culture people. So they said they were evicting us for resource management issues, which they haven't returned any of my pastor's phone calls. And with the timing, it's like, come on, we had a pretty good relationship with you. We pay rent. You're a struggling theater, and you're going to return our rent because we spoke out against having 10-year-olds paint the pansexual flag.
Sounds like they're going to be struggling a little harder now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. I'm almost like, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to make a joke. Go ahead.
We like
Damn it.
jokes. Tell the joke.
It's
No, I
probably not a
hate
good-
jokes. You better not tell it.
Oh no, I built it up. It's not gonna be funny. I was just saying.
Now you have to say it.
It's not even a joke. It's something I was like, if they go under, God has a sense of humor. Maybe we could pull our money and buy the theater.
Oh,
Right. Yeah.
All for
Not
that.
that I'm wishing for that for them, but now who knows why this happened.
I mean,
Maybe
it's
they
by
just
the,
fall
the
that way.
fortune of their own folly. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say something to that effect. Like, if this is going to be them digging their own grave, well, so be it. Like, that's, part of the good and the bad of a free country, and well, hopefully a potential free market. It's like, you want to make those choices and do that. Well, someone can have the option to come in and just take it when it's all dead and done.
Bad
And
choices people make
right.
sometimes for the dumbest of reasons, and it's like, we're not going anywhere. We're called Church on the Square. We used to meet in a guitar shop on the square. They've offered to let us go back to the guitar shop, but the owner there, but we've kind of outgrown that space. So this past Sunday, so they evicted us. They gave us notice on Friday, right before Mother's Day service on Sunday. So we had
Jesus.
Mother's Day service out on the square in front of the courthouse. It was hot, but we brought umbrellas and bottles of water, and 2 other churches joined us. And so
Nice.
what did they do by kicking us out? They made us visible. Now everybody that's coming to Georgetown, which is getting hip and trendy, sees this huge congregation meeting having Sunday service and Mother's Day service out right in public. So that's kind of cool.
Nice.
You have to wonder about the the intelligence
logistics?
level. Well, no, I was going to say, you have to wonder about the intelligence of a lot of the people on the left, the progressives, because no matter what they do, they'll every time they try some cancel campaign, it explodes these people. Starting with like Gina Carano. Like, it's just like, thanks.
The thing about that is that, like, what you fail to understand is that intelligence is not a word that exists in their thesaurus or dictionary or whatever they go by. That word doesn't exist.
No,
Neither
it
does
exists.
Streisand effect.
They don't know what it is. It exists. They say it a lot, but they don't know what it is. That's
That too.
I think
Also,
that's-
Streisand effect is something that they're not exactly familiar with, because they have no problem spotlighting people by saying, "Hey, cancel this person." And
right.
it's just a bunch of normal people and people who are against them that just go, "No. Matter of fact, we're going to spotlight it. Why would you tell us to do that? That seems stupid. They seem like they're doing a good cause. Why not?"
Right.
And then that person gets support, or those people get support. And then the left looks like, or not just the left, but the weirdos look like a bunch of weirdos.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Well, and I wonder too, like, we lost Keri.
There she
She'll
goes
be
again.
back. The Speed Force is something crazy.
I do wonder. I wonder what, like, if a lot of these places, companies, even know like what it is that they're fighting when they, especially when you see the stuff on Twitter about our company stands in solidarity with, abortion rights, reproductive rights, as they like to call it. Like, do they even know what it is that they're fighting for? Or are they just copying and pasting something that they saw?
I'm sure it's that latter.
Welcome back. I was oh no. If you can hear me, Keri, we were just talking about how I was wondering if a lot of these companies even understand what it is that they're fighting for when they talk about like the messaging, when you have big like game companies or whatever come out and say, we're standing in solidarity with reproductive rights, we're standing in solidarity with LGBTQ rights. And it's like, well, what is it like? Do you know what that means? Like, because you have just, like someone like your organization who's like questioning, why are they painting these particular flags? It's like maybe there's a reason why we might not want it. Maybe you could hear us out. But instead they, revoke your permits or whatever, and you can no longer be there. It's like, okay. So
The thing that bothers me when it comes to a lot of these people is they don't let that sit in their mind. Like, the best way to represent these people is to just let them be there. It's that easy. Like, you don't have to go out of your way to say, hey, paint, this specific multicultural or national or whatever they call it flag transracial. I don't know what the hell they call it. You go paint this flag and tell people that you support. Like, you don't have to do all that, like, at all. You just let them be a part of your projects or a part of your events or whatever. Just let them in, because they're just as, human as the rest of us, minus Amarada. But I mean, it just boggles my mind when it comes to people. Like, it's so simple. It's the simplest thing. It's just let them be. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. Just let them be.
Right. I think the vast majority of people, like, no matter what side you are on the political spectrum, like, most people just want to be left alone. They want to live their lives normal. They want to live like how, I like this. I like this. Okay, that's fine. And I don't, there's not a whole lot of stuff that's really affecting me, and I'll let anyone do what they want to do. But the minute you try and sort of like coerce me to speak a certain way, act a certain way, do a certain thing, like I respect everyone, and I don't need to do anything differently. And if I want to ask questions,
eat a nap.
Exactly, you should be able to do that.
Exactly.
You guys, you'll never have me back again.
Of course we will. We'll just ask you to fix your internet first.
We've been here a week now. We're gonna have to fix it. He was watching television, but he's turned it off, and it's still not working.
Oh God.
Oh man.
Did you try hardwiring back in?
I was gonna say try hardwiring back in.
I think she died again.
It keeps taking her.
Nice hat.
Try hard.
That was a beautiful. Keri is like the hat queen.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. She really is.
There is. Okay, so where'd it go? Trey said there exists a large sect of the population that wants to dominate their neighbor. I don't believe it's a large sect. I'll be honest with you. I just don't think that's the case. I think the vast majority of people are like, the vast majority of people are stuck in this weird in between. I think we're being shown a lot of the extremes and made to believe that that's like normal. Not to say that these people don't exist, because they do, and I think they're the loudest in their space. But I don't think that is those are the people we have to worry about. And thank God, because I think we'd be in a lot more trouble if that were the case. I don't know. I just think their messaging right now is so good. It's presented in such a way that it's hard for people to deny or walk away. If they haven't properly like read through things, people just trust the news blindly or whatever. I don't know. It's a sticky place to navigate nowadays. That's for dang sure. And it doesn't help that the major news corporations, they talk about the need for, our disinformation or ministry of truth, but they are like the sole proprietors of that misinformation most of the time. And that's not even being hyperbolic, So, which kind of it did kind of lead me to the next thing. And Keri is not here, but we will hopefully
have her back.
Oh, of course we'll have her back. This is no. Oh no,
thing. We'll definitely have her back. It's just internet can be a bitch sometimes.
Internet bitch.
Yeah, for sure.
Ironic on that statement.
There is this bit. So I mentioned briefly the Ukraine package, the 40 billion Ukraine package to support the Ukrainians in their war against Russia. Adam Krigler did tweet out, and I'll share it with you guys. We can watch the video a little bit. For those who haven't seen it, it's Mitch McConnell talking in a weird little voice.
Turtle. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. He reminds me of
favorite turtle.
You know who he reminds me of? Not a turtle. You remember that? Freaking like demon thing from Pan's Labyrinth with that.
Well, supposedly that was actually made to slightly resemble him.
Was it really?
I want to say I read that somewhere, saw that somewhere. But yeah.
That would make so much sense. Let me share this video real quick. So guys, like I said, if you haven't seen this, Adam Krigler tweeted this out. The money should have been should be starting in America. That is not our war. Our government is outing itself as globalist, which is not news, by the way.
Oh.
It's only important if you want the new world order or you're an NPC, which no lies detected.
Yep.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I think we all agree the most important thing going on in the world right now is the war in Ukraine. I had a chance to call.
The most important thing in the world going on right now is the war in Ukraine. I couldn't disagree more, Mitch.
Call the president last week and request that the Ukraine package move by itself and quickly. He said, let me think it over. He called back in about 15 minutes and agreed that we need to do this Ukraine only and quickly. I think we're on the path to getting that done. Discussions are underway between the House and Senate appropriators on the crafting of the package.
And, okay, when was the last time that a big budget bill went through for only a singular thing? Like, there's always the pork stuffed in there, right? There's always some weird bill passed in there as well that's basically saying, well, you know, it's hidden in the legalese. Like, I don't believe these guys any farther than I can throw them, and I'm quite sick of them. Like, and like Keri said, it's all like, most of this just seems like political theater at this point. It's
pretty much,
you know, sleight of hand. Looks like you got it figured out, Keri. No pixelation or anything. It's looking good so far.
She's moving. She hasn't talked yet.
I'm afraid to talk. I'm afraid it'll. If I just know if it cuts out terrible.
Shit.
Oh no. Oh my gosh. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of my kids. Like, every time I start trying to talk to my wife, my kids start talking at the exact same moment.
Great.
That's what's happening. She's like, I just want to say something. Maybe it's YouTube. Maybe YouTube's is after her.
Well, in this case, I think it'd be StreamYards more than YouTube.
Yeah, that's true.
StreamYard's been on a tear recently.
No, they're not happy with you either, which is funny because we're on the same connection.
Ain't it?
Folks, we're sorry. Keri, I feel so bad. I feel so
It's
bad.
awful.
But yeah, I wanted to share that because we were kind of talking about Ukraine stuff real quick, and you know, the whole mess. I love Adam Krigler, by the way. He's awesome.
He's great.
And you know, so this is a topic. Moving on to the next thing. I saw this today. Libby Emmons from the Post Millennial had just posted about Target's new merch that they got going.
Oh God, what does Target have now?
Target launches trans merch for kids as well as chest binders and packing underwear.
Oh dear Lord.
So, you know, so I'm of two minds of this because I don't know. I don't know. No problem, Keri. Keri's in the chat. Not a problem.
You are always welcome back.
Right. You're always welcome back. If you can figure it out, you know, while we're still going, feel free to pop back in. I'll make sure I keep an eye on the back room there, whatever it's called. But
Back room.
Yeah, back room. So let me just share this real quick so people can see what it is I'm looking at. But Libby Emmons shared this today. So again,
does that say Tomboy X Target?
Yeah. It could be the video, Keri. We'll see. Okay. That does take a lot of processing power, or you know, to send over the internet.
I mean, when you're listening to Mitch McConnell, it kind of eats up your bit rate. So it makes sense.
Clogs those tubes. You remember that the internet is.
There's a lot of pork. So much pork in those bills, it hits
Whoa.
everyone's connection.
What is this you guys are looking at? This is my friend Libby. What's she talking about?
So Target launched trans merch for kids as well as chest binders, packing underwear.
What?
Yeah, so
Oh, chest binder.
So you know,
It makes your boobs flat.
yeah, so like
Oh,
you know, binds them, puts them flat to your chest.
why? That's
I guess
stupid.
I don't use it
Well,
often.
most of the time it's used for like run.
Oh,
Great, it's my turn now.
Yes!
Run track will often do it,
mhm.
but yeah, and then binding is also trans people will do it too when they don't want when they haven't had their top surgery.
Like,
Right.
I understand sports bras, right? But chest binders just sounds stupid. Like, who doesn't like
Well,
boobs?
I'm gonna be, when you're a woman and you do something like track, while a sports bra is good, it's not necessarily enough, especially if you have a larger chest. You
Put on another one.
will actually need the binding to keep you from bouncing up and down.
Put on 2.
It's not going to work.
3.
She
You wear
clearly
3
doesn't
bras
know.
and run,
A
and
coat.
we'll see how that goes.
But-
Put on a
Shirts
coat. Put on a
tomorrow.
lead box.
But this is not being marketed for women who are running, and this is for
No,
kids.
At all.
This
is
is
all
for
casual
girls who want to pass as boys and boys
Yep.
who want to pass as girls. And this is the definition of, James Lindsay's definition of grooming, which
Right.
I absolutely agree with, which is, a third party indoctrinating a child into a cult or an ideology
Right.
or a belief system.
Yep.
Without their parents' consent. Target is now acting as a groomer and putting this out there for children who, I find this so offensive. This is kind of like the mural I was talking about. The kids don't need to be hit with this kind of messaging when they're going shopping for, clothing or.
Oh no.
There goes the sound.
Give her back, Speed Force. Give her back.
Free Keri Smith. Free Keri Smith. Free Keri
Free her
Smith.
before you free me.
That would be Keri Smith, Shane. You should follow her on Twitter if you don't already.
Yeah, Keri. Keri was talking about James Lindsay. Her links are all down in the bio, guys. If you don't follow Keri Smith, you should be following her. She is a great person, and she
normally is much better internet, so she can usually talk better.
Right.
So you should absolutely go check that out.
Right. And there's like 5 links down there for the stuff that she does. I pulled everyone I could find. Gosh. Hashtag free Keri Smith. Let's get that trending on Twitter, please.
At YouTube, hashtag Hash Brown free Keri Smith.
I do agree with what Keri's saying. I think that there's again, I'm not against any of this stuff, right? Like, or I'm not against, trans women, trans men doing living their life and their best life, of course. Like, I have a good friend who is, and one of my students who I'm mentoring right now, she's an amazing, like mechanic, trans woman. But like, it just doesn't seem proper to have, like, especially like this image here with the scars and everything. I suppose it's to normalize that this look is okay. And, but it again, I agree with Keri and what she said. I agree with James Lindsay's definition. Like, these are not like, this is grooming. There's like, is there a reason to have this? Like, if you're
No.
a trans man or trans woman, like, you just dress as that, like everyone knows it. Right.
Right.
No problem, Keri. You get your internet fixed. I know you've had a long day too. Thank you for trying, and we will definitely have you on.
Yeah, you're
very
welcome
soon.
back anytime.
Yeah.
All those Red Bulls for nothing. Damn it, Speed Force.
Right. But yeah, it just comes down to like, it's like pushing it on kids. Like, and I think a lot of the trans community that I've had the opportunity to speak with, like, they've sort of like kind of said the same thing, where it's like these are decisions they made later in life. after lots of therapy and doctor and medication and working through a lot of hard stuff. But this just seems to be like, it's trying to push it younger and younger. Now, granted, these look like teenagers, but still, like even I have a. Go ahead.
I've seen literal children, babies, diapers designed to have bulges.
Oh, I
or
saw
designed
that.
to smooth out little boys and girls. And
that's fucking weird.
That is just so what the fuck are people thinking sometimes? And that I mean, unfortunately, that doesn't necessarily fall under grooming because that's the realm of the parents. That's the parents at that point making that decision. And words. I do not have them.
Yeah,
I do.
It's
actually,
what was it called? It was like infant.
Oh boy, they have a phrase for it.
No, well, I'm trying to think of how I would look for it. It's like an Etsy store or something like that.
Yeah, it's like.
I hope you're in incognito mode with a VPN.
It was, yeah, that's right. I probably should, huh?
You should be using somebody else's computer.
Possible. I don't even really want to look it up. If someone, I don't know. I'm not going to ask anyone to look for that. I mean, you can look for it on your own time, but I'm not going to do it now because I'm not really sure what to search. But I do remember seeing the pictures pop up. Who knows? Maybe it was taken down. I hope it was taken down. It was just awful and disgusting. Yeah. But yeah, these are things that like, again, these companies jump in on this like weird messaging bandwagon. And I don't even know, like, do they know what they're even doing? Do they understand what the potential harm is? And, I say harm in sort of the lightest way possible, because I know that it's not physical harm. And that's usually the argument I hear is like, well, there's no harm. It's like, no, but like you're causing a lot of confusion in kids. And like that can lead to even more like harm, as in like real, like mental breakdowns, not fully understanding what's real. Like my son who's 4, like he doesn't fully understand the difference between like men and women, not because he's stupid, but because he's like more interested in Super Mario and Sonic than like gender and pronouns. Like kids, they don't care. They can't wrap their head around it. It's as simple as the subject is, you start mixing the two and calling that normal, or like, I don't know. It's you guys know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah,
I know what you're saying. That's why I can't say it either.
Kids have much better things to be concentrated on than the differences between boys and girls, because at their age they aren't necessarily important.
Yeah, like their development's not based on stuff like that at the point. It's more like it's like tactile. It's engaging in the physical world around them, not the philosophical parts of it, really, or even the scientific parts of it. Like I do talk to my son about things like the planets and the ocean, and I try and be as like adult conversation. I don't try and dumb it down too much.
So you're like Bill Nye Senior.
Yeah, I'm trying. Except without all the woke bullshit,
Yeah, it got real weird.
Yeah, it did. Shane Dorney says, I'm 44 and don't understand women. And women don't understand women. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But what is a woman? Is anyone a biologist? Is there any biologist in the chat?
No,
I don't think Dave's here. He's my on-call biologist, and
that's right.
I'm not a biologist, but I know what a woman is.
I'm a squid.
I lost my train of thought again. Shit. Oh, speaking of, and I was hoping that Keri would be here to comment on this particular thing, because I'm sure she would be absolutely disgusted by it if she hasn't already seen it. But
Speed Force, give her back, please. She needs to be there.
If you're in the chat, Keri, please let us know your thoughts. I'm actually sharing my tweet, but so this was a spot on MSNBC where a guest says she wants to make sweet love to the SCOTUS leaker, the person who leaked the documents regarding the Roe v. Wade being overturned. And I just want you guys to watch how this progresses and what happens with this panel. It's
Lord,
pretty shitty. So, and just for the chat, because I don't know if the chat has seen this. If you follow me on Twitter, maybe you have seen it. But here we go.
Yeah, so I mean, here's the thing. Here's my feeling about the leaker. I would like to find out who the leaker is so I could make sweet love to that person, because that person is a hero to me.
Yeah, laugh it up.
If the leaker, a lot of people are saying it could be a conservative. If the leaker,
wait, hold on. Wait, I gotta do this.
You serious?
Like
that was the clip I was telling you about on Murata. You know, when you do the laugh and then that follows. That's what I was talking about.
there is a Republican, and if I get pregnant during our lovemaking, I will joyfully abort our fetus and let them know.
Oh wow!
Look at these assholes. Do you see this?
It's all obviously it's a joke. I hate these people so much.
Like, I just don't understand this.
The left can't meme. The left can't comedy. The left can't even left. It's abysmally embarrassing just seeing anything they talk about at all, because every time they say something, it just makes me like, it takes away 17,000 hit points and I only have like 6 to begin with, like every single time.
Right.
It just irks my nerves every time when they talk. I just die a little. That's less soul for Amarada to consume, and that's
I'm
also
hungry.
what makes her mad.
Like, I don't know. This bothered me for so many reasons. This is the tactic. Is this right? The tactic is we need to make the human fetus, growing fetus in the womb, as inhuman as possible. So
Right.
You can make jokes like this. And so you don't have to worry about people judging you for vacuuming out the potential human life. And it's the most repugnant shit that you could come up with. Like these people laughing at a joke like that. Oh, I want to have sex with a MAGA person, and and hopefully they can't even tell a joke well, you know, like
can't. I heard somebody make an argument about what was it? It was something in relation to this, I guess to pretty much having having a kid, or birthing a kid, or like baby or whatever. And oh man, I'd have to go back. It was Crowder's newest video that he just put out today. It's like an hour long, where he's talking to people on the street about their
I watched
their understanding. Yeah. Their understanding of Roe v. Wade.
Yeah.
And I watched it because I have a general understanding of what it was, but after hearing the conversation so many times, I have like a way better understanding of what they're doing, and right. I agree with it in the sense that they then they take the power from the federal government and give it to the state, which is something that I've been saying for the longest. Like, get rid of the federal government so that people will realize, oh, we don't need this the federal government in order to survive. And then they deal with their state, and then from there they go to the counties, and then to the cities, and then just breaks it all the way back down to like the few people in every. I think what is it, like statistically? There's only like most people will only have reoccurring encounters with the same like maybe 30-ish people, 30 to 50 people throughout their entire life. You don't need.
It's a small number, whatever it is.
It's a very small number, but you don't need to have the same laws and regulations enforced on you here in Montana, for example, that are happening to somebody over in to do with us.
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me.
Well, that's what social media has done. And I've talked about this with my community for a while, that the internet, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram has made people believe that every single thing that's been going on, like everything that's going on in the world, pertains to you.
Right.
No one listens to local news. Like even in our lifetime, local news has just been dead. Like there used to be local news, like when our parents were younger, you have your local news station, like real local news, like countywide. And there's still like, there's not many people watching that, tuning into that. Like the boomers are, but they're not. It's like everyone's getting their news off of Twitter, and they think this is what's happening everywhere. We have to worry about it. And, even we probably fall victim to it at points, like maybe we over exaggerate a certain thing. But I do try and make the fair point that like, this is something to be aware of. It might not be affecting me necessarily. Like these people don't really exist in my sphere, but we have to be aware and equip ourselves with the weapons to defend against it. That is, like, to me, one of the biggest things. And knowing how to spot people like this and understanding like how awful they are and how they just don't respect human life. They would just as quickly, probably kill their child with Down syndrome. Like it's awful.
What was it? Who was it? The governor of Virginia or whatever. Having that clip is still floating around where he's talking about I think it's like some little interview or whatever where he's saying, if the baby is born, or if the fetus is born, becomes a baby, we'll make sure that the baby is nice and safe and secure and stuff like that. Then we'll sit down and have a conversation with the mother about what we're gonna do, what the next step was. Obviously talking about abortion post birth, which makes no sense. First off, that just does not it doesn't register with me at all. Like that's death at that point. That's not even just like abortion. That's just death. It's just murder. That's all it is.
Straight up murder.
It's euthanization by way of like laws and regulations and stupid medical choices and stuff like that. But I just remember what it was that I was talking about as far as like the bit that I was referring to with like Crowder, where someone said abstinence doesn't work, and it's like, no, abstinence does work. You just don't put it in anything. You're like, the dude's argument was abstinence doesn't work because that's you not having sex, and if like what happens when you do have sex. It's like, I mean, like you're that's the thing about abstinence. It's not having sex. If you don't have sex, you don't have to worry about getting pregnant.
Right.
It's relatively easy to understand. Now, yes, there are situations that may occur, anomalous situations where there may be a rape situation or something like that. There might be a drunk night or something, and it ends up turning into a one-night stand, and it wasn't planned at all. It just happened, kind of thing.
Well, here's the interesting thing about that, and I'll just when people were talking about that, as like even in the cases of rape, and I think again, I'm to be clear to people watching, I'm a safe, legal, and rare person. Like I think it should be available, but in rare cases, it should be safe to do. I certainly don't advocate for that sort of thing. I advocate for, using birth control and, abstain when you can. Obviously that's not a realistic thing, but I was listening to some people talk about the rape and incest and, that argument, mainly pertaining to rape. Incest is pretty fucking vile. But like in the case of rape, they were talking about like even the pro-life argument is that it's still a life. And even though it may be, something conceived out of like malice, like you still have like an obligation to that potential human life, right? To bring it into this world and give it a good life. And it was so like, it was hard for me to hear that. And like, I don't know if I agree with it, but I heard where the person was coming from, and I understood like it is like that person is not, obviously is not the assailant, right? They're not the ones who did it. It is a part of that person, but are they right? I don't know. It's it's one of those heavy things that I don't know. I don't think I would ever advocate and say you should keep it. That's obviously it's the choice of the woman at that point, especially how traumatizing that thing would be. But I understand it, I guess, is where I'm coming from.
I get what you're saying.
But, as the uterus I mean, the thing that gets me with the argument right now is they keep talking about how this will take away a woman's choice. This is absolutely not taking away a woman's choice. Taking away a woman's choice is rape.
Right.
That is taking away a woman's choice.
Right.
We have the option. We still pick who we sleep with. We still pick when we sleep with them. We still pick what types of contraception we are willing to use. And there are so many different types of contraceptions out there to use. And when you double up on it, man and woman both using it, the chance of procreation are near nil. Not impossible, especially since there are a lot of idiots out there.
Right.
But in the end, you are not losing choice. You're just losing the option to kill or progeny.
Right.
And I kind of agree with you in the terms of safe, legal, and rare. I do believe there are potential situations where it might have to be done. I also don't believe that it should be a form of birth control.
Right. Yes.
So
the more important issue is the education behind it. Again, this is why this is why being present in your kid's life and teaching them. And again, I'm okay with sex education in high school. I think it could be very useful because, I mean, hell, raging hormones as a teenager, if you have the right curriculum, it could be really helpful in stopping a lot of these teen pregnancies, especially in inner cities, if it's done properly. You know, we didn't have any. I grew up in small rural town, Connecticut, and we didn't have any of that stuff. But people need to understand the consequences to, you know, sexual intercourse, right? Like if you put this here, there's a potential that it will result in a human life. So you need to be willing to accept the terms there, right? You know, we all sign the dotted line at some point, and, you know, we have to pay the price, whatever line we sign on. And, you know, like you said, double up on your contraception. I am all for men using birth control. I'm not one of those people that, you know, that says only women should be taking these, you know, hormonal birth controls. Like there's many different options out there nowadays. Everyone should be thinking ahead and understanding the consequences of their actions. Like there's zero excuse at this point. I hate to be the person saying, you know, Google it, but Jesus Christ, like everyone has a computer in their pocket that is like insanely powerful. Use it, understand what it is that you're getting into in all aspects of your life. But these solutions are like almost too easy for people. Like when you talk about it, they're like, oh, well, that's not a solution. I'm like, yes, it absolutely is. You know, and I've said this before, like it's like people like they need stuff like Roe v. Wade to tell them what to do. It's like, no, what Roe v. Wade does is it gives the government power to tell states what they can do. Without Roe v. Wade, it returns power to the states and they can do as they want. And people can vote and overturn these laws if they want. And I assume some will, you know, even with the trigger laws in place, I'm sure you'll see states, you know, flip on these issues and, you know, legalize it. You know, and that's up to the state. I don't care what these individual states do. When I go to the voting booth, wow, I can't even talk. When I go to the voting booth, you know, I'll cast my vote how I want. And, you know, we'll see what happens. And there's a lot of people in chat today. Hello, everyone. I just want to say hi and thank you for joining us. I'm sorry that Keri Smith had to leave us, but her internet was not working.
Her internet was not our friend.
Right. It didn't want her to say. But and I did, you know, real quick, just want to say hi to everyone that I see here. Silvar, Shane Torney, Alan Scott, Nightbot, Snow White, welcome. Eric Valhalla, welcome. Writing Raven, always great to see you. How are you? Enjoyed your latest video. Superman, how are you, sir? Emperor Doomsday, wonderful, wonderful people here today. Awesome. Again, thank you guys for all their support. Guys, you have anything to add to that particular?
Did you switch internet with Jeremy?
Nah, that was it. That was it for me.
I'm pretty sure that's one subject that's been gone over with a bat,
right?
And then put in the blender, and then set on fire, and then dropped in the volcano, which was then launched into the sun. So
yeah, It's been a
If
rough
only we
subject.
could bring the meteor to the to Earth as opposed to just bringing the volcano to the sun. That'd be great.
That'd be nice.
Meteor 2024.
Let me see here. There's just lots of stuff going on, you know, and I put this tweet up here. This isn't, we don't even have to spend a lot of time on this, but Amarada, I think you shared it with us in Discord. It's Mike Cernovich. Okay. I don't hate Cernovich, but like this was just like, I don't watch horror or listen to metal. I truly believes it opens demonic portals via a spirit of fear. I even stopped listening to hip hop and most secular music. Like,
I am hard convinced that that's just satire. But I mean, until you know he says something otherwise, unless he's like in his own comment section going, you know, just pretty much going and this, that, and the other, so on and so forth. Yes, it's bad. Then at that point in time, I can say he has gone full Mintafanuk. Then you know, I get it now.
right.
Okay, Mike, we get it. You stay over there though. You weirdo.
Like, I have to think he might be trolling. Like, I don't know, but he's just weird enough. Like, I do like some of his takes, but like, yeah, sometimes he comes out with stuff like this. And I'm like, what are you doing, Mike? Are you trying to
People
get
like
rise out of
this and people who, those are two types of people I do not understand.
Yeah.
I mean, I can almost understand a lot of other things, but this one and Flat Earth are two that I look at it and think, what kind of brain damage do you have that causes you to feel this way?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I just think he's accepted like who he is and just fully embraced it and just goes with it. Like, I think he's one of those very self-aware people, and I think he was probably very lucid when he did this. So to that end, I guess I give him credit, but yeah,
He's gone full Simple Jack.
I got a good brain.
It's Simple Jack.
Oh my god. Yeah, man, it's what a weird world we live in. Oh, here's some interesting stuff. So, you know, we touched on Biden earlier. I meant to come to this towards the end of that because one of the other big things that's going on with the Biden administration is this whole, you know, Ministry of Truth, you know, disinformation board or whatever. So the new disinformation czar wants the trustworthy, verified people like her to be able to add context to other people's tweets.
It's ironic that all this stuff comes up, you know, now that Elon has shelled out for ownership of Twitter. Now all of a sudden, and misinformation, disinformation. You know, it's been like this for over a decade, right? With Twitter.
Yeah.
Like almost 2 decades with Twitter. Like you guys, you aren't doing anything different.
Mm-hmm.
Did any of us link to you the new Twitter, the new TOS?
No,
I did not.
I'll
cannot
see if I
get
can
on
find it and send it to you. Yeah, you still can't get on Twitter.
Oh, it looks like, wow. How long is your ban for? Like a month?
I don't know.
No, he's protesting it.
Oh,
and
okay.
So
I'm fighting it because I didn't do anything wrong. It's that simple. I didn't do nothing.
Let's while you grab that, I'm going to play this real quick because she's just the stuff she says. It just makes me laugh.
I'm eligible for it because I'm verified, but there are a lot of people who shouldn't be verified.
There's a lot of people who shouldn't be verified, though.
Hello, everybody.
Legit, in my opinion. I mean, they are real people, but they're not trustworthy. Anyway, so verified people can essentially start to edit Twitter the same sort of way that Wikipedia is, so they can add context to certain tweets. So
look at these fucking morons sitting in their offices alone with their masks on too. Like,
I didn't even notice that. Maroons.
What's happening?
On a Zoom call with their masks on? Oh,
yeah, look. One.
Yeah.
Well, you can't really see her, but she does. I'm sure these people with their cameras off do too, because they're just too embarrassed to put it on.
Oh my God.
Easy
Just want
example, not from any political standpoint.
real quick.
If President
Yeah.
I want to go ahead and say that you can't catch coronavirus through your PC unless you're using Windows, since it's very virus prone. So there's that.
Got that link in Discord for you, Shag.
Oh yeah. Let me see here.
Eric got it for me. Thanks, dude.
Awesome. Thank you, Eric. All right, let's take a look. Let's share this tab instead. And boom, new Twitter's terms of service. We do not endorse, support, represent, or guarantee the completeness, truthfulness, accuracy, or reliability of any context or communication posed via the services, or endorse any opinions expressed via the services. Okay, that seems normal. You understand that by using the services, you may be exposed to content that might be offensive, harmful, inaccurate, and otherwise inappropriate, or in some cases, posts that have been mislabeled or are otherwise deceptive. All content is the sole responsibility of the person who originated such content. We may not monitor or control the content posted via the services, and we cannot take responsibility for such content.
Yes.
Like, this is awesome. And you know what? This is everything that like people have talked about regarding like Section 230. Like this is what's supposed to protect these companies. Like it's not like Twitter creates a platform for people to say what they want to say, like even like message boards in the past. It's not the website is not responsible for whatever opinions may be out there. It could be, intentionally deceptive talks, or it could be inappropriate stuff, porn, whatever. Like, it's funny that they put this in here, but yes, and thank you, Elon, I guess, for putting this in here. But like this is all stuff that we knew, and now it's like I don't know. But yeah, that whole talk that lady's having is in direct violation of this. Disinformation.
Well, technically not a violation. It's just she wants she wants that whole paragraph not to be a thing. She wants control. She wants to pick and choose who's allowed to talk. And that is not what government is supposed to be fucking doing. Yeah, no, absolutely not. There was even a tweet. Aaron Rupar today tweeted out about how like people are overreacting. Well, I'm paraphrasing, of course, but people are overreacting because of this new Ministry of Truth, but it has no real power. And I just thought it was hilarious because the whole different disinformation board, or whatever it's called, is run by the Department of Homeland Security. Mm-hmm. Like in the Department of Homeland Security, they've already said with this whole thing is that they will treat people who violate these things with misinformation, disinformation, and the other one as terrorists, which essentially gives them carte blanche to do whatever they want in order to apprehend them and disappear them. Like, this is just what they do. And it's also the agency that's been spying on American citizens for the past 20 years. With I mean, that's what essentially what what's his name uncovered. I can't think of his name. Why can't I think of his name? He's like in another country now and he can't come back. Snowden, yes. Exactly. Wow. Thank you. Congrats though, Twitter, on your new terms of service. It looks lovely.
Now all you got to do is let me, Lethal, and Az out.
Right, yeah. Free the boys. Absolutely. The boys.
Hash Brown, Free City'n.
Free City'n. Yeah, and and I wonder. I mean, I would assume this change of terms of service is related to Elon. I would think, right?
Yeah.
One can hope.
Yeah. And this will push us in the right direction.
That is the hope. It's really interesting to watch Elon and Elon and Jack go back and forth on Twitter. Elon had a tweet today about how you should be able to view tweets in chronological order and not according to the algorithm. And Jack actually responded that that's a great idea. But people should have the ability to also choose what algorithm they might want to view by, so that they can discover things that they might usually not discover. And Elon's response just was, yeah. And seeing them both talk about it is kind of hilarious.
It's like having an open meeting, and it's just a meeting, a private meeting, but it's open and everyone's invited.
Right. Well, and then the quartering was talking about that earlier, and he was discussing the possibility that maybe Elon would make Jack in charge, or the CEO of Twitter again. My only thought about that is, obviously Jack was not strong enough to handle it the first time, so maybe not repeat that.
Well, here's the thing, and I like, if that it would be true, I don't know if that would be the worst thing in the world. I don't even know if it had much to do, because Jack seems like he's like the slowest dissolving red pill at this point.
Yeah.
Like he's been way more outspoken now that he hasn't been involved with Twitter. And I wonder if Elon did bring him back, if he would be much more useful to the company because of Elon. Because Elon basically said, this is what I'm doing, y'all. And
my theory behind that is that Jack had some level of, like, not some level, but there was so much red tape for Jack to go to make the Twitter that he wanted, that he just ultimately conceded and was just like, you know what, fine, whatever, we'll just follow your rules with all of this. And that's because Elon makes so much money, he's pretty much outside of the government, like, regulatory bracket. He's just like, I don't care what any of y'all got to say, I will throw money at this and tell you fuck you. And it's that easy. And now Jack Jack doesn't have that. He doesn't have, like, that much, like, leverage held up over his head. He's just like, well, this is where I've been standing the whole time. I just haven't been able to say it, kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's what I
think. Yeah, he's been beholden to his, like, corporate overlords, and all that time, both podcasts with Joe Rogan, like he the second one, he's sitting there with his lawyer, the lawyer, like, he can't. There was so much he couldn't say, and now that he is, he's not beholden to those people. He's able to speak up, and all those hearings and stuff. It's like Keri was saying earlier. It's all political theater. Like these politicians don't care about it. They want to make a spectacle because they think it's what their base wants to see, and nothing happens. And Jack's got to sit there, and all the others are going to sit there and be like, no, we don't do anything. We actually monitor things and we add context, or we look at the context, blah blah blah. And like, but yeah, if Elon brings it back without all the red tape, I don't know if it would be the worst thing in the world, quite honestly. I trust Elon more than I trust Jack, but seeing his tweets recently, I wonder.
I just don't think that. I mean, I think that Jack, he might be waking up, but I'm not sure how much spine he has.
Yeah.
And that's where my concern is if he doesn't have the spine, then no matter how much he's waking up, it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
So I think that someone who has, honestly, if you're gonna run Twitter and be as open as Elon seems to be planning to be, assuming he finishes the buyout, you're gonna have to have a spine of fucking steel.
Yeah. So. And if he was going to do something good, like I don't know, I feel like at this point, Jack has made his living. He's probably just going to retire and
he's
just
going to be on the island with Tom.
Right.
I think he would do really well as, like, an outside, what's that word?
Consultant.
An outside consultant.
Yeah.
So that he doesn't have to bear the pressure, but he has a lot of really good ideas in terms of what he apparently always thought Twitter should be, but never could make it because of whatever reason. Mm-hmm. So I think that would possibly be the best way for them to go.
Let's see. I think what would happen personally is that Jack would retire, right? He'd go to the same island with Tom from MySpace. They'd be sharing Mai Tais and I guess island girls and stuff like that. And Mark would come through, But then Marco almost get kicked off until he pulls out a bottle of Sweet Baby Ray's. Then he'll join the party just as much as everybody else, and it'll be all sunshine and rainbows with like Elon money just raining down on them. It'd be great.
Oh man, I think we should move out of like the heavier stuff of politics and culture and kind of work towards comics and gaming. What do you guys think?
Yes,
That's always fun.
I mean, it still involves some similar things, but we gotta
it ties together. But
right. You know what I'm gonna do? I don't want to do this, but I have to take a quick break. The coffee went right through me.
Good job.
Can you guys?
Oh, we can hold it down. We're good.
I can't.
I'll be right back.
I am terrible at this. Oh God, he's gone.
Oh God, he's gonna freak out. People, calm down. Take a deep breath, honey. Breathe in and out. All right. So while he's gone, that's what we're going to do. We're all going to practice breathing. Actually, no, I'm kidding. I'm absolutely not going to. Just what I need. Cthulhu corn. Breathing hour. Okay. In.
No. Stop.
What can you? Why don't you tell them how you feel about Wizards of the Coast, honey?
Oh, good grief! That stretch on for like how much time do we have? Usually it's like
we have about 45 minutes left.
Usually about 45 minutes. I stretch on for about maybe like 17,000 days. Like, good grief. I cannot espouse. I cannot say enough how much I despise Wizards of the Coast as it is currently. Like back in the day, it was understandable. Like, it was smaller and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, cool. Wizards does their thing, this, that, and the other, so on and so forth. Nowadays, with the rise of the woke, and I guess when the name of the game is pander, you have no option. You have the option to not, but you have no option but to pander. And that's pretty much what all of these companies are doing. And Wizards of the Coast being one of the biggest ones that pisses me off because I love D&D ever since I got into it. I'm not going to sit here and act like one of those. I'm not going to play pretend like a lot of other people are saying, oh, well, I've been playing D&D since I was fucking a fetus, since my mama was a fetus. Like, I'm not one of those people. I've been playing D&D since 2016. I'm relatively new. I got in during 5th edition, and I'm just sitting here looking at all the stuff that's going on right now. And I'm just like, nah, man, like, I don't like this. I don't like what they're doing. And I had this conversation with enough people where I'm just like, where it's like, oh, well, they changed this much of the text in like the books and like the player's handbooks and Volo's Guide to Monsters and stuff like that. They're changing lore that's intrinsic to certain creatures and like enemies and stuff like that. And it just boggles my mind that some people are just like, well, I mean, it doesn't seem like that big a deal. No, it's lore. You're changing lore for the sake of not offending people who aren't going to read the books, let alone buy them in the first place. Like,
I apologize. I don't know how to turn them off.
It's definitely Amarada's fault because she said, why don't you talk about Wizards of the Coast? And I fucking went off. But like, it just pisses me off so much because like, I love D&D. Like if at any point, I don't know, like screen share. Screen share it only, even if we screen shared it, I'd only be able to show you like 100 of my characters. That's not even counting a notebook I have full of a bunch of different characters and different stats and whatnot that are going on. Like I'm well into like at least 500 monsters. Not monsters, but characters that I've created. And then I've created my own world. I've created my own monsters, my own lore, my own storylines and stuff like that for what I in the past, like, what is it, 2022? 6 years. In 6 years, I created so much stuff based off of D&D alone. I am thoroughly invested in what D&D is, except for what they're doing with this shit right now. It pisses me off to no end. What the hell they're doing. And now they're putting out some stupid ass fucking books like Strixhaven, which is just pretty much Mean Girls meets Harry Potter, which pisses me off. And then like they have all these other stupid ass like these other dumbass fucking like books and stuff Tasha's cauldron of everything. I understand the idea behind it and stuff like that, but all they did was monetize homebrew. They pulled a fucking Bethesda, and it pisses me off.
Yeah.
Good grief. I don't understand. Like, granted,
monetizing homebrew was like the best way to put it, honestly.
Yeah, it's pretty much. But like, I'm not even gonna sit here and act like, oh well, I'm standing against the rebellion. The way that this shit is set up, the way that D&D Beyond is set up, I shelled out, and I was just like, oh, I gotta get these books because it's not, Wizards is gonna get a cut regardless. But ultimately, it's owned by fandom. Like D&D Beyond is owned by fandom,
right?
Oh, and the merge is gonna be happening in like a week, and it pisses me off. And there's like this policy that's floating around that a lot of people are pointing out. It's like, oh well, the way that Wizards phrases it, like your characters and creations and stuff like that, they're able to pretty much make money off of your stuff regardless if you give them permission or not. They can do that. And it's like, well, I mean, they're going to do that regardless. It doesn't piss me off any less though. Like, it does still make me mad. So what I plan on doing is taking all the characters that I created on D&D Beyond, taking them off that site, and then putting them into something like, I don't know, World Anvil or something, or I don't know, Roll20.
Well, I was reading something else. Apparently, they can't actually take your characters and monetize them. But
huzzah, hallelujah, and Jehoshaphat! Like, congratulations to that. But like, I still might, because the way that the world works, they make these rules and still break them.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. And it's not like Wizards is short of money. Like, you can say something like, hey, that's my character. And you'll be like, hey, we can settle this, or we can put you in the dirt financially. What do you want? And it's like, good grief.
Anytime I hear Wizard of the Coast now, I just think,
yeah,
like every time, like they just suck now, man.
The funny thing is, like, a lot of people, like Amarada and I recently started getting into watching like RPG horror stories.
Oh, cool.
So like we started watching people like Crit Crab and what's the other guy's name? The guy with the plague mask. He's like the rat with the plague doctor's mask or something like that. I can't remember his name. Crispy. There we go. Yeah, I started watching Crit Crab and Crispy and the one guy with the those guys. Like, we've just been watching like a bunch of other horror stories and stuff like that. And it boggles it. Well, actually, it doesn't boggle my mind. It's not really that surprising to me how many people say, oh, well, I got into it because of Critical Role. I blame Critical Role. I have gone on record saying this left and fucking right. I blame Critical Role. First campaign, fantastic. Second campaign, hot garbage. Third campaign, I don't give a fuck. Like, and like, if anybody does, like, you go back and watch the first campaign, they look like they legitimately were just having fun and just enjoying themselves. Then the second campaign happened. Then it became all about, like, safe spaces, and not all about, but they were mentioning like, safe spaces and consensual crabgrass and stupid shit. Like, half the cast is bisexual or gay, and I'm sitting here like, the way that the world works at large, like the LGBT population is not exactly outside the single digits when it comes to percentages, right. And this shit is just heavily abundant in that shit. I'm just like, come on now, you're appeasing like six people who actually vehemently want you to do that, and like 20 billion other people who are afraid of those 6 people. Like, stop that shit. Go back to the fun, please. Just go back to the fun. And I can't remember. No, I think I did put a video out. No, I did put a video on this with the third campaign, where people are talking about, oh well, here's the problem with the new campaign, third campaign, as far as them going through the city, going through Marquette or whatever, which is like fictional Middle East, I believe is what it is. Mm-hmm. And they're talking about Swana, and the only reason I remember that is because it's stupid, so it's easy to remember. There's a Southwest Asian Native American or some shit like that. And I was just like, that sounds stupid to me. They have like sensitivity officers, which fake jobs and shit like that. to make sure that they aren't appropriating and stuff. And I'm sitting here like, you're appropriating fiction? What? I'm confused. I wanna appropriate some fucking magic. I'm trying to fly. I don't feel like having a car. Like, come on now. I can save money. You see what the fuck Biden's doing to us right now? Give me that goddamn spell, but give me the Necronomicon. I have no problem. Baby, go get the Necronomicon. I know you got a copy. At least.
That's mine.
2. Yeah. you have another one.
Get your own copy.
Where? Fucking where? I'm gonna go find Ash.
Your
Ash
problem.
Williams, where are you? I'll keep going, but we probably got other topics to talk about.
No, it's a good one to talk about. I know you've been really passionate about that, and quite obviously, and rightfully so. I mean, it's just one of those things, like when people start messing with like really good storytelling and how people can do it on their own. It's just I don't know.
I like to make this joke when it comes to certain pockets of entertainment and stuff. Like as far as comics go, you have Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, Bill Finger and Bob Kane, Steve Ditko and whatnot. The greats. You look at D&D. You have Gary Gygax, Ernie Gygax, who is his son but not dead, and other people like I'm forgetting the guy's name. Matt something, not Matt Mercer, but I forgot his name off the top of my head. But you have like all these people, and like they're gone, but now the creations that they came up with, everyone's running rampant with this shit. And the reason that global warming is so prevalent is because of how fast they're turning in their grave. Like I honestly believe each one of them is just a single lump of coal at this point. How much fire they've caught, just spinning and spinning and spinning. Like their coffins don't exist anymore. The ground around them is just hardened, it's dry. Worms can't exist in that spot. Tommy Lee Jones is running around trying to figure out why the ground keeps shaking and shit like that. Like I thought these people are turning their fucking graves because of what these weirdos are doing with their product, with their babies, with what they grew up with.
By the way, that was a good volcano reference. I'm not sure if anyone got that, but that was awesome. Oh man. No, I agree 100%. And you know what? Because we are on the whole, we're going to move right from Wizard of the Coast. We're going to move right into comics because you mentioned it. But Mr. Bug had posted this today or yesterday.
Oh God, I read this. It was terrible.
This is exactly kind of like what we're talking about. I mean, shitty artwork aside, the writing is awful. I think he actually did a better job at paraphrasing. Or with the dialogue, because it's god fucking awful. And my biggest problem with it is the lack of focus on like the real, like, because it's not to say that this whole scenario hasn't been done before, where like a hero is involved with a villain, they come to terms with it, or they find out about it, and then you have to make a difficult choice, and but they totally glance over that. And it becomes more about the emotional part of it. Like, John's battling with, what do I do? It's like, what to do, and your dad would know what to do, and Batman knows what to do. Yep. Like, there's no choice to be made. Like, and
it's the sad part about it is like, there's nothing wrong with a story that does play on emotion. It's one of the driving factors as to why Superman is still interesting. Right. But the way that they're handling this it's so terrible. It's so egregious to what superheroes are.
And like I said, artwork aside, but like seriously, like just like this is the kind of like, I mean, I know some people like this kind of art. I hate this like sort of flat style of like drawing. I mean, there is some shading in it, but nothing pops off the page.
Like everything looks like it's on the same plane.
Yeah. And like, it's just like, and just Batman is in such like, why isn't Batman in darkness? Like, why isn't he standing in the shadows somewhere? But he's standing in broad daylight. It just like tonally, it just seems so off. But I mean, it's not for the messaging, right? Like, it's all like like pastels and bright colors. Like
Right.
even these, like it's not red, it's like this fucking purple.
And it's sad because like they don't, like if you look at like, you know, classic comics, like you look like at like classic Avengers books, like when or even better, like what was it? I'm forgetting the name of the Spider-Man comic off the top of my head. The one where he throws his suit in the trash. In the trash can.
I know what you're talking about, and I can't remember the name.
Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. But like the way that they set that one page up, that one panel, it's like the rain is falling
Right.
on the whole setting, and the trash can with the suit is highlighted. Then you just see Pete in the shadow just walking away. The way they mapped that page out was it was impactful. It was perfect. Like the way it landed is just, people are just like, yo, what's going on? What's going to happen next? Hold on. I know this guy. I know Spider-Man. Why is he quitting? What's going on? I got to see what's going on. Right. Like it gets you invested. This shit does nothing for me.
Right. And even like, you know, I don't like the dialogue here, how it's written. Like you'll see, like he comes in, can we talk?
No,
like, well, that doesn't sound good. It's not really like this. This is like, we're going to break up. Like he's more worried that he's going to have to break up with him, you know? Well, that's a relief. They're like, oh, is it? Like, yeah, I thought you wanted to break up with me or something. It's like, what? No, like, and I think the next page, it totally, you know, it goes back to him talking with Batman, and like he is the voice of reason. Like his dialogue is fine. Get it?
Oh, Batman is always the voice of reason, even with Robin's situation as well. Like Barbara Gordon did nothing for Tim Drake at all. I don't care what anybody got to say. She did zero. She pretty much Jean Grey'd that boy.
Yeah, I was really disappointed to see those pages, and I just don't read a lot of the modern stuff, and I give a lot of credit to those who are doing the hard work of reading this crap and reporting on it. But it's just, none of it is fun. Like I read part of the new Guardians of the Galaxy run. Ripa was talking about it, like I think it was last year when it had come out, and it was just so bad. It was like the first couple of issues.
Becomes gay?
Yeah,
or bisexual or whatever.
Yeah, it was just like, and I just thought, like, why? What's the point of this?
Just because, not me personally. I would actually give them credit if they're taking all this LGBT stuff and just doing exactly what they wanted to do. It's like, you know, John walks in and is like, can we talk? And then his boyfriend's like, no, but we can fuck. And he's like, oh, they're doing it. It's like, all right, cool. Credit to that. That's what you all really wanted, because clearly y'all don't know how to fucking write superhero comics.
Right. Yeah.
You know, just do that. Take it to the stand. Take it to the point where you want it to be, as opposed to, like, you know, pussyfooting around. Oh, we're trying to make No, you're not trying to make no Superman shit. That's why you quote unquote killed off Clark and Diana and Bruce, and just made, like, you know, gay and trans versions of them. Like that's all they're doing, is just taking what people grew up with, getting rid of it, and possibly or half-assedly replacing it with shit that nobody cares for.
And speaking of embarrassing,
I'm sorry. I'll zip up next time.
No. The article from Kotaku that came out.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was on Monday. Yeah, I mean, you take what Kotaku says with a grain of salt. But here, I'll share it for the audience here, and we'll explain it for those listening.
Why would you take anything Kotaku says with a grain of salt? All you're supposed to do is mock and shame them,
and just throw it in the trash.
There you go.
So the headline being far right devs Kyle Rittenhouse Steam shooter isn't edgy, it's embarrassing.
Fun.
I haven't played it. I want to.
It's just this like progressive trash that gets written, and again, Kotaku is like so guilty of
progressive trash.
Yeah, I mean, they don't even, again, it comes back to what I was saying before about these news outlets. They don't even hide it anymore. They're just out as like,
oh yeah,
It's funny, like Kotaku, much like IGN and GameSpot and a lot of these other what was that other one? Whatever. Anyway, like they used to be what can be considered respectable journalism, games journalism and stuff like that. And people pretty much saw the writing on the wall. I think it was like somewhere around like 2009 or 2010, around there or whatever, where reports are coming out about, oh, there's some casting couch stuff going on here, and it's in Kotaku and stuff like that, and it's like a whole bunch of other crazy stuff, and it's just, oh, okay, so these people have just been abusing, their I guess the power, I guess you can say, that they have as far as journalism goes, getting the word out there, so on and so forth, and from there it's just been spiraling out of control, and it's fun to watch because they're still funded somehow. They're still funded, and they never learn.
Manta in chat was talking about, he said it's hard to believe that Kotaku is still in business, and Polygon.
Polygon, that's what it was.
Yeah, Polygon. So interesting story about Polygon is, like earlier I was telling you a little bit about like how I sort of came down from my own like progressive woke phase. And one of the impetus, one of the reasons the impetus for leaving the left was actually a podcast that was run by the founders of Polygon. I don't know if you guys have ever listened to or heard of Rebel FM, but they're a video game podcast, and they talk about games. And one of the guys is really plugged in with like Microsoft and Xbox. He wrote a book on. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to give him
Jeff
any credit.
Keighley.
No.
Okay, good.
It was but he wrote a book on what the hell is the name of that game? Gears of War. And his co-hosts are plugged into the gaming industry in some ways, but so I used to listen to them because they had some really good takes on games, and I wanted to get kind of like some information on that stuff. But what I was noticing was that they would inject these weird political rants into their show. And at first,
in gaming,
right, stuff like that. Yeah, stuff like that. Stuff about Trump, just whatever was sort of trendy in the news, they would like bring it up. That's bad. It was so dude, it like turned me off so much. Like even before I fully like disappeared from, I stopped. I was like, I can't. This is not why I listen to this podcast. I want to hear about games. I don't give a fuck about politics. And so yeah, it was really interesting that, and as I started looking at like other Polygon stuff, like on their website, I was like, wow, this is okay. I see where they get it all from. It's all this trash, and they hire the same people to make up stories. And again, like, we're how long are we out of this whole Rittenhouse thing? And they're still saying you fired at unarmed protesters during civil unrest in Kenosha. While that's like true, like they totally leave out the fact that
the three of them were convicted, were felons.
Right, they were felons. They attacked him. One had a weapon and was going after him. And they also comment how the left viewing is his acquittal as a miscarriage of justice with racist roots, while the right is sought as a victory to right to bear arms in self-defense.
First off, like, and it's funny because back before I was thrown in the cell in the brink with Lethal and Az, I like someone put up a tweet about that. It was like, how can people respect someone who I think it was like murdered or whatever, executed three other people supporting some cause or whatever. And I was like, well, I mean, the way I see it is more, I think if I remember my tweet after that was, or my quote tweet to that was, it's better than him becoming a no-name life to 3 convicted felons or something like that.
Yeah.
But like, that's like, people never look at it's like, it's always what happens. And from there, it's just a reaction. There's never any kind of like critical thinking. There's never any outside the box thought processing or anything like that. Like, looking at that situation, the whole Rittenhouse situation, I'm glad that the chips fell in perfect. They fell perfectly for Kyle because it just pretty much outlines how crooked a lot of this stuff is. You look at like a lot of what the media has been saying ever since, like, you know, more information has been coming out. The stuff that Banger and Krause never actually said about Gross Crotch when he was on the stand, and I'm kind of mad that that Shirafsi and I'm forgetting his name. Who? Richards. Yeah, we go. Yeah, Your Honor. Yeah, Richards. I'm mad at the fact that like I guess I don't know if they were allowed to do any kind of like outside research, but if they would have looked into the background of like Gross Crotch, Rosenbaum, and the third dude, like they would have seen, oh well, you know, they've done this, they've done that, they've done this. So you know, let's go ahead and bring Vaporized Bicep back on the stand real quick. I got a couple words for you.
In fairness, the stuff that they did in the past had absolutely nothing to do with the trial.
Yeah, right. And
I mean, so they couldn't really bring any of that up because it's not like Kyle knew any of that when it happened. He just knew that they were after him.
Right.
Yeah.
In that same vein, go ahead.
I was gonna say, imagine it's just to paint the character of the individuals in general and what their track record is. And you're right, it should have no bearing on that current situation, but it also helps to illustrate like what they're capable of, especially with, you know, what's his name, the pedo and even Grosskreutz, like he had history.
Like, that's pretty much what that's what I was saying about that whole thing too, is like they've done this stuff before. They've gotten like, you know, convicted of it, or they've gotten charged for it in a way, and they've gotten out. They've probably done it again and gotten away with it. They've probably done it before and didn't get and got away with it before they got caught, but you'll never know.
And well, true. I mean, Kyle didn't know any of that.
No, I understand that, but like that's what I'm saying is like if you know, if that was something that was like, you know, I guess in the legal system allowed, you're looking at, because it just makes sense. It's like, okay, these people have obviously done some evil, vile shit, right? You can pretty much surmise that had Kyle not had that that rifle with him, like he would have been probably stomped out, robbed, raped, killed, and a whole bunch of other things based solely on not just those three individuals, but the environment he was in. There was a mob chasing that kid. And Jump Kick Man got away.
Yep.
So
I certainly don't condone those actions. That I wish that Kyle wasn't there, but given the circumstances, he made the right moves and did it smart.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
I agree with that.
For a 17-year-old kid in a really tough position, the fact that he did so well and didn't actually cause more damage or death or destruction is in and of itself, I won't say impressive, but lucky.
Yeah. Well, sheer amount of restraint that he exercised through that whole thing was far greater than any, like probably better than most adults. Like he was, for the most part, like calm and collected, not like a fucking crazy person firing off shots at anything that came close to him. I mean, even there's a few people who came up close and he raised his weapon. They put up their hands. He put his gun down and ran away. You know, like some people are not sound of mind in that situation.
That was it. Like, and the thing is, like, that's what I was saying. Is like the way that you see like the videos and stuff, his handling of the firearm is like he went there with the sole intent of helping people and protecting himself with that rifle. Like he didn't go there specifically to go kill a motherfucker. Like those motherfuckers just so happened to run up on him. He got kicked. He knew there was fight or flight, and he chose fight. And I'm proud of the kid because he only used ammo that was necessary. He didn't empty the clip or anything like that.
Right.
He didn't do anything else, or the magazine, I guess, if some people want to be. Anyway, like he didn't expend an entire magazine just to, like, you know, tell people that he's serious. He went after the ones that attacked him. Hey, back up. I said back up. Leave me alone. Get off me. Bang, bang, bang. Down.
Right.
That's it. That's all.
Absolutely.
And people are just losing their minds about it. Like, oh, you killed so on, so forth and whatnot. By the way, kind of like hearkening back to Critical Role for half a second.
Oh,
Matthew Mercer put out a tweet in
boy.
support of those three vile individuals.
psychopaths.
And it pissed me off to no end. I was like, dog, where is your fucking spine? Oh, yeah, that's right, Marisha. But yeah, I commented. I was like, dog, look, man, that's all the respect I have for you. Like, I'm no longer watching Critical Role or supporting any of this stuff. If I could sell your stuff any faster, I would. Or like if I
That's
could sell
okay.
the products I got any faster, I would.
I told him intelligence was his dump stat. So
Oh shit! Oh, but he deleted the tweet though.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, it's still a bitch move.
Eric Valhalla, I have not watched 2000 Mules yet. I've been seeing it on Twitter, and I will probably get to it this weekend. We'll see. It seems like something I have to watch and maybe talk about.
And also, I don't know if you're gonna be posting this up as a segment or anything like that, and somebody happens to catch wind and they're just like, "I'm passing this up to Matt Mercer and the Critical Role team so that they can get mad at you and talk shit about." Look, my whole thing is not that I'm shit talking Matt Mercer, even though I'm shit talking Matt Mercer. I'm just saying you should have just left the tweet up. if either leave the tweet up or you don't post it at all. That's where I stand.
Yeah, most of these idiots don't have any conviction anyway. They just, again, it just becomes this like regurgitation of what they're told. You know, their firmware updates every so often from their corporate overlords, and it's too bad because it's really sad to see. And like it's instances like that where, you know, like they didn't really give a shit or care. They were reactionary. Someone else said it. They picked up on it and put it out there in hopes to virtue signal to
pretty
God
much
knows
get
who.
more. Yeah, to get more. Like everybody's got to be a Kristen Bell.
Right. And the sad part about this article is like it's just such a waste of time. You have to know that whoever made this and put this together, like, I don't think they have any plans of making money. It was probably just a fucking meme project. They put it up there, and Kotaku took it hook, line, and sinker. Like, it's just one of those things. Like, it's a total meme project, and they they ate it up, and now they look stupid because it's like, do you really think that, like, I mean, the game even like probably runs and plays like crap, you know, but it's just one of those things. Like, again, the left can't meme, they can't take a joke, and it's just sad. Very, very sad state of affairs. What we got here? Did I miss anything so far tonight, guys? We have we did get a message from Keri. She said that she's very, very sorry.
Girl, stop apologizing. You ain't doing nothing wrong.
Yes, I will tell her the same thing, and she's welcome back anytime. And I know you guys will agree with that.
I've told her that on Twitter already.
Always, she's always welcome.
Dozing Z, yeah, Dozer. I want Kotaku to go to hell so hard. Yes, they like most
they're
of
paving
those,
their own way there.
Oh yeah, and it's such a breath of fresh air. Like, when you see like how many people, like when you see these accounts get ratioed, like every single time they post something, like there's just, they don't have any support. All the support is on, and I don't like using our side, their side, but like, quite honestly, like people who like understand us or want to have like the open discourse or talk, like those are the people that are like us. We understand how crazy they are.
Right. Put simply.
Can we talk about Anna Kasparian's meltdown, saying she is done with the Democrats? I did see that clip.
Oh, I'm not giving that bitch any kind of like
she's your favorite.
Any kind of what would you call that? Like no kind of credence, no kind of dapper, any of that. No, she's getting none. I'm looking at her like, you've been waving what flag for the past 10, 15 years, and now all of a sudden you're done? Nah. You helped foster this shit. You are one of the main reasons why The Last of Us 2 is bad. By the way, I was on the camp. back in 2015. I was in the campus saying this game is good as it is. Leave it. There doesn't need to be a sequel. And people are like, oh, it needs a sequel. I want to see what happens with so and so. I'm like, all right, y'all are fair warning. It's not going to be great. And Anita Sarkeesian's old punk ass came up and was like, I think this, that, and the other tropes in video games and this, that, and the other, so on and so forth. Not realizing that Samus is one of the most prominent female figures in video gaming history, along with Tomb Raider. And like so many other characters like Chun-Li. Exactly. Like there's so many female characters that don't just die and aren't just damsels and do happen to have some character growth in the process. And she just hones in on like Peach, who, by the way, is not just a damsel in distress. She's just a retarded girl who thinks that Bowser is always looking out for her because she's stupid. Like
she never played Super Mario Brothers 2?
She never played Super Mario Brothers 2. Like, yeah, exactly. You can play as Peach. She goes and, saves the fucking kingdom with Mario and Luigi and Toad. And then like, what else is there? Is Zelda? Like, oh well, Zelda's always a damsel. Bitch, have you never played Twilight Princess? Twilight Princess, she was like the realest bitch in the damn game.
Right.
And she all she does is just harp on the same few games left and fucking right, and all people have been doing is funding this shit. And now look at where she is, and all of a sudden now she wants to chameleon her way out of the fucking Dems. No, I bet you're a Dem. You stay over there.
I'm gonna admit I'm confused. How did we get from Annika Kasparian to Anita Sarkeesian?
Yeah, how did we get there?
Oh, sorry. I get the apparently I got the names confused. Nonetheless, Annika Kasparian is just as bad, if not worse. I'm pretty sure everybody in the chat is going crazy, but like Annika Kasparian is just as bad because all of a sudden, like I will say that she is. I will give her a little bit of during the Rittenhouse trial. She came out and did apologize for misinformation. It was like, oh, we got our information wrong on this, that, and the other. And for that, I apologize. And I was like, all right, cool. That's respectable. All right, cool. Annika Kasparian is still, kind of crooked. She had a. She can look at. She can look outside the Dems, but she can't exactly be a not Dem for like the rest of her life. Still, she's got to get Tyrion Lannister on this one.
Let me share this real quick because I saw this and I couldn't even watch it. The funniest part was watching Chank's face.
Chank.
And yet,
what do you want them to do with their kids when they have to go to work?
Chunk Luigi.
Uh-oh. Keri infected my internet now.
Oh, damn. You got the Modelo virus in your Windows.
Oh, no. We can't watch the Young Turks. Damn.
Whatever shall we do? Why is she losing her shit like that?
This was in response to the leak, the Supreme Court leak. So yeah, she went full retard on their show, and it's just funny to watch Chank's face.
Answer that freaking question.
Please catch up video.
Damn it! I'll have to post it in the show notes, but it was just one of those crazy moments where, like, she just went totally unhinged. And it's funny to watch them get so mad over stuff that they don't even fully understand or read about, just like the don't say gay stuff, right. The understanding Roe v. Wade.
Hey, wait. It's not don't say gay because we're not retarded. It is the Parental Rights and Education Bill.
Parental Rights and Education Bill, exactly. Sorry.
Also known as Don't Say Gay Bill.
But that's how they report on it.
Also known as the Anti-Groomer Bill.
So. Yeah. But they report on this way, and I guess they do it because that's how they fuel the outrage of their base. Like Keri was saying, like throwing the steaks, the red meat at their base, and that's really what I feel like they're doing here. Like these people can't be that stupid, can they? Like, I mean, that's only half rhetorical, I guess.
I'm trying to remember the comedian. There's a comedian who did a stand-up, and I want to say it was probably back in the early 2000s. Colin something, I want to say, and he's talking about no, That's not a comedian.
Yes, he is. He's
Probably
pretty
be a
fucking
better
funny.
comedian, but it was talking about how the news used to be, they would tell you what's going on. Now the news today is, I'm going to tell you what those guys over there said about this, and you're going to be real mad. And first you're going to watch these commercials, but when you come back, I'm going to tell you this, and you're going to be real mad. And yeah, I mean, it's basically, obviously he did it better than I am because he's a professional comedian, and I'm a winky
squid.
So, but yeah, if I could only remember his name, but it was a really funny bit that, I mean, so many of those bits from that era still seem really relevant today. And the fact that they don't come on my car radio more often makes me depressed.
I wish we get more actual actually funny comedians. They're giving us a bunch of stuff that pretty much popped up on, like, was it Comedy Central's Up Next show or whatever they call that series, or Coming Up. I forgot what it was, but they're giving us they put a lot of that on, like, the radio stations. They don't give us, like, Lenny Bruce. They don't give us enough Patrice O'Neal. They don't give us enough, like, Chris Rock and, like, comedians that actually said stuff that is relevant, like, and not just relevant but also funny.
Yeah.
When you listen to the oh god damn it, what are their names? I know their names. Yeah, Foxworthy and Larry the Cable Guy's station. You get more of that kind of stuff. But yeah.
You guys want to see some comedy you'll never see anymore?
Sure.
Okay. I saw this the other day and I just thought, man, comedy really is dead. We can't even laugh at ourselves anymore.
Oh man.
This was just working fine all of a sudden.
Oh man, this is yeah, this is great. It's hilarious.
Why isn't this working?
In living color.
Good evening, and welcome to the Justice Legions of America. As you all know, the Justice Legion recently settled an affirmative action suit brought against it by the United States. Apparently, it was felt that the Legion's membership has shown a discriminatory preference for white men and incredibly beautiful white women. As part of our settlement, without denying or admitting our guilt, I'd now like to present our newest members. Please welcome our first Jewish superhero, Beard Man.
I like it.
With the menorah on his chest.
Psycho, the human computer, our first Oriental. And of course, the woman who originally brought the suit against us, Angry Woman, the world's only black feminist lesbian superhero. And last but not least, let's give a warm Justice League welcome for the newest handicapped superhero, Handyman.
What were we just watching that was talking about him? Jesus Christ.
No, it was talking about on Tuesday night's main event.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Those, like, bring back good comedy. Like, it's just so funny.
Good grief. Amrata and I we're at a Best Buy out in
Billings.
There we go. Out in Billings, like 2 weeks ago, and we saw, like, DVD box sets for, like, great shows like MASH, the complete series, Futurama, the complete series, and like some other ones. It's just like, this is all you really need. I don't need to watch any of this new stuff. I don't give a fuck about Stranger Things. Give me something I know is going to be good. And the Futurama box set came with, like, not just the series, but also the movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So I had, like, Ender's Game and, like, all of that stuff. I was like, yeah. But
yeah, those. Oh man. And if they're talking about bringing Futurama back for a season,
They are.
Oh, they are. There we go. It's something
They've
I don't
got
really
the
have
same
much-
writers, all the everybody, including Bender, has signed on to it.
Right.
DiMaggio.
And
John DiMaggio.
yeah, so I'm pretty sure it won't be anywhere near as good, but
Probably not.
It bothers me because the way that Futurama ended was just perfect because it just looped back to the beginning and it's like and there it is. You don't need to do anything else.
Right.
Nope.
Well, the problem is they keep doing that thing where they're like, we're bringing modern problems into these shows, and it's like,
why?
They're manufactured but they're manufactured problems. It's not like actual problems, you know.
Exactly. The sad thing is Futurama already not only covered a lot of the problems, but predicted a lot of the problems we're having today.
Right.
It was like Animaniacs also came back recently, and the jokes in there is like they're so on the nose it makes no gosh darn sense. Like, you know how in the opening they always have like they have the one bit where like one of the Animaniacs will have like that one phrase that rhymes at the very end of the song.
Yeah.
One of them was something totally insane, never mansplaining, and I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Oh God.
So you just told me in the trailer that I don't need to watch this.
It's just not even funny. Like,
it's not.
Sad.
It's after all the hello nurse bits. Seriously.
Yeah, hello nurse. And how many times Dot would throw herself at like every man.
Yeah.
Every man, put simply. That wasn't Yakko or Wacko.
Oh, it's too bad. It just makes me sad because people just totally miss the point.
Yep.
Totally miss the point. Yeah, and they brought back Fresh Prince too.
No, they didn't.
I thought they did.
No, they didn't.
Well, they brought back a show that has the name Fresh Prince.
No, well, it didn't even come back. It wasn't even named Fresh Prince. It was just named Bel Air.
Oh, was it really? Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was bad. It was. I watched that trailer. It was so abysmal. It was terrible. Like the trailer was bad. The little clip they had with fake Carlton rapping with the white kids in the locker room, that was bad, or the shower room, whatever they want to call it.
Yeah.
And like I read an article, and I'm just sitting here like they changed characters and stuff. Like the only one that was still kind of like the same character was Hillary. Everybody else was different because all of a sudden Uncle Phil was a corrupt politician, which he never was in the show.
Right.
By the way.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't at all corrupt. He was part of what got. Yeah. Anyway.
Like Uncle Phil is the de facto father figure of the 90s. Him and Carl Winslow, but mostly Uncle Phil.
Well, and a few other people. But go ahead.
Of the 90s?
Yeah.
Who else?
Tim Taylor.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, for me, he was like America's dad for sure. Maybe that's because I'm white.
Yeah, you white people every time. No, but
there were a few of them. There was a very nice collection of wholesome, open fathers in the 90s. There just was.
Yeah, and I understand that, but when you think of those like family shows, like family sitcoms of the 90s, the first one that generally comes to mind for a lot of people is Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
And by a lot, I mean like a majority. I'm not like discrediting the other fathers, but like the de facto and like that I know of.
That's fair.
To see the one man who was, especially would be in Avery Jones, like the one man who not only on screen but outside from behind the camera as well, or when the camera's off, was that same intellectual, that same man who wanted to see men be men, and see them become successful people in the world, and even with his daughters and his kids and stuff, like he wanted to see them become more than just some delinquent. He wanted to see them become like functioning people of society, if not better than that. They take this shit and just make him a corrupt politician. That makes no fucking sense to me. Like, oh, well, he learned his lesson by way of by Will, like Will acting out or something like this, or Carlton doing this, that, and the other. And Carlton's a fucking crackhead, which makes no fucking sense in the series.
Yeah, the problem is they're writing their stories, right? This is we want to tell our story. Like, no,
I don't want to see your story.
Right.
I got you all. I got you all. For those people that are looking at watching this live, or if you're watching this in post or whatever, if this gets uploaded as a video, if you want to see, if you want to see someone come in and take charge of like a family that is just so corrupt that they're pretty much tearing themselves apart, there's a movie called Lean on Me. That movie, hands down, one of my that was one of my favorite movies growing up, because Clark came through and changed the entire school, not just like a class, the entire school, a school of failing students who just showed up and just didn't give a fuck. They were just future criminals, most of them, if not dead or prostitutes or whatever. He came through and cleaned all of them up, and it was one of the best movies of its time.
Yep.
Look it up. Oh,
good movie.
Lean on Me. I forgot what year it was. I think it was like 80, like late 80s, I believe.
Oh, Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman was the principal.
I wouldn't.
Yeah. No, I'll definitely check this out.
Absolutely. Oh man, that is a great movie.
Oh man. All right, guys, what did we miss tonight? Did we miss anything? Did I forget anything?
1989. Yeah, Sidney Poitier was also in it.
That's 1979.
1989.
Oh, 89. I was about to say shit. I was off. But just y'all check that movie out. It was great.
It's a good movie.
But
no, I don't think we've missed anything.
No, we missed Keri.
Well, we did miss Keri.
Yeah,
we're very sad that Keri's gone. We were very excited to have her here.
Bless you, sir.
I'm still sneezing because she's. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm still sneezing because we went to the one gym that's apparently not hypoallergenic. Took an allergy pill before we went, let it settle, and then come back, and I'm still sneezing all over the place.
HTK says Bel Air is just the black OC.
Yeah, pretty much.
What is the OC?
It was a show back in the early 2000s about like a group of kids in Southern California or Orange County.
Oh,
yeah.
This explains why I don't know what it is.
Right. 90210. Everybody's like, "What is that?" And then you find out, oh, zip code. Oh, it's a zip code.
Yep.
Yeah, I knew that one. Then there was the one that began with an M. Melrose Place.
Melrose Place, yeah. That was
late
90s. That was mid-late 90s, I think.
Yeah.
Like Melrose Place, Dawson's Creek, Seventh Heaven, all of those shows. Shouts out to Jessica Biel. Like it's funny. It's funny. Like you look at Seventh Heaven, it's pretty much a Christian show, right? And it's like a Christian family. And it's funny because like she got so fed up with being the Christian girl that she went out and like she did a risque photo shoot. It specifically so that she could get out of her contract. 17 when she did the shoot or something like that, and it had me dying first time I read it. I was like, man, Jessica Biel's great, and Justin Timberlake's a piece of shit for cheating on her.
Did he cheat on her? Oh.
Yeah,
I didn't even know they dated.
Yeah, no, they have kids.
I didn't know that either.
That's probably a good thing you don't know.
There's a lot of that. You ask she. There's a lot of that shit. I'm just.
Oh yeah, no. Every time I say something, she looks at me like she like Eldritch Squid or some shit like that. And I'm sitting here like, you dead serious? But then she kind of counters with like shit from the 70s, and I'm sitting here like, I wasn't even alive. Leave me alone.
Neither was I. So I don't know why I know it.
Exactly. Well, yeah. Well, here's that.
Well, guys, I think that'll probably do it for this week. What do you guys got going on with your streams? Emerata, start us off.
Tomorrow night will be some more Elden Ring, I think, and then I'm kind of thinking that I'm going to switch things up a little, and we're gonna do the Evil Dead, the game, since
Oh,
it comes out on Friday.
nice.
And I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna see how many of the people in my community I can get into that, and we'll do
I
that
can't
this
get in
weekend.
because the way our connection works.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Right.
But hopefully we'll be back in the other house soon, and then we can fix that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and she knows Ash is it. Like we've had this conversation. Like the favorite horror character. Every time I say Ash Williams, like Evil Dead 2. I'm not Evil Dead, but Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
Hands down my favorite horror movie. But Ash Williams is hands down my favorite horror character.
Yeah. We actually cannot raid right now. We can accept raids from channels, but since we don't have 1,000 subs, we can only receive. We cannot give. Unless
damn, I hate being a commie.
Is that, I think maybe not. I don't think we have the functionality at all. Like I said, anything under 1,000 subs, you can receive a raid from someone, but you can't actually raid anyone. And I was watching something on it, like it's kind of their way of reducing hate raids on them. I would love to raid Arcada. We'd love to have him on the show too.
We'd love to have 1,000 subs too. So
yeah, right. So if you're not subbed to the channel, make sure you subscribe. And make sure you guys subscribe to these lovely individuals as well. Both of their links are down in the description. They've been flying through the chat tonight. I'm finally getting the commands all together and getting organized. We're doing better. Every stream is a little bit better than the one before it. But yeah, make sure you hit the sub button. Share the live streams when we're live. Share the video clips when you can. It helps the algorithm. It helps push us out to those who are looking around and searching these topics. Especially when you share directly from the page, whether it's from my page or their pages. Share their videos. Get them boosted in the algorithm. But the clips have been going up about a day or so after the show. I do have a lovely friend that is editing the live streams and clipping everything for us, adding intros, outros, and stuff like that. So it's been a really great help. Rock Reina has been a good friend and community supporter since my very first day live streaming. So, which was about 6 years ago now. So, thank you, Rock, for your help. And thank you guys for joining me again today. For those who don't follow me on Twitch, I'm over on Twitch at twitch.tv/TheShagsworth. I stream on Saturday, Sunday. And I've sort of eliminated Monday from my stream schedule because I've been doing family time. And I'm about to switch my stream schedule up. So I do actually Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and mixing in an extra YouTube live stream. And that'll be more of like a solo hangout show. And even I'm thinking about doing community night where I sort of open up StreamYard to my community to hang out. And so that'll be something fun. Yeah, it'll be something coming down the pipe. And you guys are more than welcome to join my Discord. I'll put that command in here. Feel free to join the Discord and hang out with us. The discussion is always ongoing in my Discord as much as we can. But that'll do it for us tonight. Thank you guys all for hanging out, and we'll see you guys next week, 9 p.m. Mountain Time.
Night, people.
Night. Yeah.
Bye.